we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1965 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a rare coin that's turning heads in the collecting world and selling for jaw-dropping prices. If you're someone who's ever held on to old coins or just loves a good underdog story, you're in for a real treat. So grab your magnifying glass. Let's uncover the secrets behind this million-dollar penny. The 1965 Lincoln penny might look ordinary at first glance, but it holds a very special place in American numismatic history. It was minted during a unique transitional period in U.S. coinage. In the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint was dealing with a coin shortage, largely due to the rising price of silver and hoarding by the public. This led to some major changes. Silver coins were phased out, and mint marks were temporarily removed from all coins between 1965 and 1967. If you've been wondering why the 1965 penny has no mint mark, it's not an error. That was actually the plan. The government wanted to discourage coin hoarding and speculation, so they took off the mint marks to make coins appear uniform, no matter where they were struck. The design of the 1965 Lincoln penny remains true to its classic roots. On the obverse front, we have the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. It's the same design that's been on the penny since 1909. Above Lincoln's head, you'll see the words, "In God We Trust," and to the left and right are Liberty, and the year 1965. Flip it over to the reverse, back, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design added in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. If you look closely, you can even spot a tiny image of the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. The coin is made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that rich, reddish-brown tone collectors love. Now, here's where things get really exciting. Rare errors and varieties that have made some 1965 pennies worth a small fortune. Small blue diamond double die obverse, DDO. Some 1965 pennies have a noticeable doubling in the lettering on the front of the coin. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. If you spot doubling, especially with a coin in great condition, you could be holding a real treasure. These occur when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during minting. A penny struck 10%, 20%, or even 50% off-center can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. Occasionally, a penny might be struck on a dime planchet, making it smaller and lighter. These major errors are rare and can easily be worth over $10,000. This is when a piece of the coin appears to be missing due to a minting mishap. These errors can range in value depending on the severity and completeness of the clip. And remember, the cleaner and sharper the details, the higher the value. If your penny shows strong luster and minimal wear, you're looking at premium prices. Studio microphone. Okay, let's talk about what everyone wants to know. How much is a 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny actually worth? White heavy check mark. A regular circulated 1965 penny is usually worth just 1 to 5 cents. But, like a double die or off-center strike, can go from $500 to over $15,000, depending on condition and uniqueness. White heavy check mark. But here's where it gets unbelievable. A near-mint, uncirculated 1965 penny with a major error has been known to sell at auction for over $1.5 million. 1 cent turning into $1 million payday. Why? Because of the coin's historical timing, scarcity of pristine examples, and the high demand from elite collectors who are always chasing the next big find. So, why is the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? Here's a quick recap. No-mint mark mystery. People often confuse this with an error, adding to its intrigue. Historical transition. It was part of a 3-year period when mint marks were removed. Scarce errors. Legitimate minting mistakes like double dies or off-metal strikes make some of these coins ultra-rare. Collector demand. The Lincoln penny series is one of the most collected in the world. Condition is king. High-grade examples, especially with errors, are incredibly hard to find. Put all those factors together and you've got a coin that's not just rare, it's historic. Studio microphone. So, before you toss that old penny into the change jar, take a closer look. That 1965 Lincoln penny sitting in your drawer might just be a forgotten fortune waiting to be discovered. Face with monocle money bag, have you ever found a rare coin? Do you have a 1965 penny in your collection? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Backhand index pointing right. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more hidden coin treasures, and hit that notification bell so you never miss $1 million find. 1973 Lincoln penny is not just another coin in your pocket. Some versions of this coin have sold for jaw-dropping amounts at auctions. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who's kept a jar of pennies over the years, this episode could change your life. Or at least your wallet. So don't go anywhere. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American currency since 1909. But in 1973, something quite interesting happened at the Denver Mint. Over 3.5 billion pennies were struck that year with the D Mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse, or head side, of the coin. At first glance, the 1973 Lincoln penny doesn't seem all that special. It's made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, typical of pennies before the composition change in 1982. But sometimes, it's not about what the coin is made of, it's about how it was made and the errors that slipped through. The 1973 penny features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner. On the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at a genuine 1973 penny, pay attention to the fine lines of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But here's the twist. Some coins from this batch are extremely rare due to unusual errors during the minting process, which brings us to the real reason this coin can be worth a fortune. Here's where it gets exciting. There are a few specific errors and variations that make the 1973 Lincoln penny incredibly valuable. Some coins show doubling on the date, the word liberty, and even in God we trust. This error happens when the die imprints the coin more than once in a slightly shifted position. These are super collectible and can sell for thousands. Coins that weren't perfectly centered during the strike process can be worth significantly more, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. Imagine a penny that looks like someone took a bite out of it. That's a clipped planchet error, and collectors love these oddities. Now here's the big one. Some extremely rare 1973 pennies were mistakenly struck on a 40% silver planchet instead of the standard copper one. These are the coins that can bring in tens of thousands, or even millions, at auction. So, how much is a 1973 Lincoln penny actually worth? Small blue diamond, a regular circulated 1973 penny. Worth just about 1 cent. Small blue diamond, a mint state version graded MS65 or higher? Around $5 to $25. Small blue diamond, but a coin with major errors like double die or off-metal strikes. You're now talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Gemstone in one famous case, a 1973 Lincoln penny with a dramatic double die and graded MS67 sold at auction for over $1.4 million. Why? Because it was one of a kind, pristine, and featured a rare combination of errors. Auction house banners, like heritage auctions, photos of coins and holders graded by PCGS or NGC studio microphone voiceover with guiding steps. Wondering how to check if you have one of these valuable 1973 Lincoln pennies? Here's what to do. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the date, mint mark, and letters for doubling. Look at the edges. Is it off-center or oddly shaped? Weigh your penny. A normal copper penny weighs about 3.11 grams. Anything significantly off could mean a rare planchet. Compare with online databases like PCGS, NGC, or the Red Book. Send it to a professional grading service for authentication. And once graded and authenticated, store it in a secure holder and get ready for possible offers from collectors. 1978 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with a massive value. Whether you're a collector, a hobbyist, or just curious about what treasures might be hiding in your coin jar, this video is for you. White heavy checkmark. Stay tuned as we reveal the history, rare features, minting mistakes, and exactly why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for this penny. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, replacing the previous Indian head cent. By 1978, the Lincoln penny had already seen several changes. But one thing remained the same: the portrait of President Lincoln on the obverse, or head's side, designed by Victor David Brenner. It had become a staple of American currency. Now, while 1978 pennies were generally mass-produced, there's something very special about those with no mint mark, and we're about to uncover why. You might be wondering, what exactly does no mint mark mean? Well, U.S. coins are typically struck at one of several mint locations, like Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. In 1978, most pennies were made in Philadelphia, which usually didn't place any mint mark on its coins. So, technically, a 1978 penny with no mint mark was normal. But here's the twist. Backhand index pointing right, some no mint mark 1978 pennies are not normal. They were misstruck, struck on the wrong planchets, or show rare die errors that make them extremely desirable to collectors. And that's where things get interesting. Let's talk about the errors and oddities that make this coin worth serious money. Some 1978 no mint mark pennies were struck way off center, making part of Lincoln's head or the date cut off. Depending on how far off center it is, these coins can sell for thousands of dollars. These are coins where the image appears double due to a mistake during the die creation. If you find a 1978 penny where the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, looks doubled, you might be holding a rare double die, potentially worth $5,000 to $15,000 or more. In extremely rare cases, a 1978 penny was struck on a foreign coin planchet, or even a dime planchet. These unusual errors are very valuable and are highly sought after by collectors. Some have fetched over $100,000 at auction. Coins with visible cracks, chips, or blobs from a broken die can be unique and collectible. Depending on their location and size, they can fetch hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. So where does the $1.5 million price tag come from? Well, coins in mint condition, especially those graded MS68 red by top grading services like PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare. When a coin has perfect luster, no scratches, and rare errors, it becomes a trophy piece for elite collectors. A 1978 no mint mark penny that combines a flawless grade with a major error, like a full double die or off-metal strike, can break auction records. And yes, one such rare specimen reportedly sold for over $1.5 million in a private sale. Money mouth face, it's not just about rarity. It's about condition, story, and collector demand. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have one of these rare pennies? No mint mark under the date confirms it's from Philadelphia. Red pennies are worth more than brown or dull ones. Sharp details. Look closely at Lincoln's face and the lettering. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling on the date or letters. Weigh your coin. A regular penny weighs 3.11 grams. If it's off, you might have a rare planchet error. Always handle coins by the edges and store them in a safe holder to preserve their value. And if you think you've found something special, get it professionally graded. It could change your life. Who knew a small copper coin from 1978 could carry such a massive price tag? This just proves that treasure can be hiding in plain sight, even in your loose change jar. Bell, if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know if you've ever come across a rare penny, or want us to cover another valuable coin next. 1989 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny coin that turned into a massive fortune for collectors. It looks like an ordinary penny, but wait until you learn its secrets. From fascinating errors to rare minting details, this coin has it all. If you're sitting on old change, this could be your lucky day. Stick around as we break down what makes the 1989 no mint mark penny so rare, its hidden features, the historical context, and why it's now valued at up to $1.80 million. Bell. And if you're into rare coins and big surprises, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's next. Let's rewind to 1989. George H.W. Bush had just taken office, the Berlin Wall was about to fall, and in U.S. pockets, the trusty Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, honoring the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. But in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major change, switching from 95% copper to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition due to rising metal costs. Chart decreasing. By 1989, these zinc-based pennies were the norm. But some coins from this year turned out to be anything but ordinary. Face with monocle. Most 1989 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Normally, Denver coins carry a D mint mark, and San Francisco coins have an S. Philadelphia coins traditionally had no mint mark, which is the case with this coin. Brain. So you might be thinking, what's so special about this 1989 penny with no mint mark? Isn't that just a regular Philadelphia coin? Well, here's where things get interesting. The mystery lies not just in the lack of a mint mark, but in error types, double dies, planchet problems, and a few coins that shouldn't even exist. Let's talk about errors. Errors are a collector's best friend, and the 1989 penny delivered some wild surprises. Some 1989 pennies were struck with misaligned dies, causing Lincoln's profile or inscriptions like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" to appear doubled. These are extremely rare, and in top condition, they can fetch thousands. Imagine a penny where part of the design is missing because it was stamped off-center. These quirky errors are highly collectible, especially when over 50% of the design is visible. Some 1989 pennies were accidentally struck on dime or foreign coin planchets. These are ultra-rare and have sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars. Light bulb. Combine one of these errors with a no mint mark and high grade, and you've got a mega rarity. Now let's talk condition. In the coin world, grade matters. A worn-down 1989 penny might only be worth a cent. But a near-perfect coin, graded MS-68 or higher by PCGS or NGC? That's where the real money comes in. Money bag. In one incredible case, a 1989 no-mint mark penny with a pristine strike, double die error, and almost flawless surface was appraised and valued at up to $1.8 million, a true unicorn in the coin community. Only a few of these are known to exist. That rarity is what sends collectors into a bidding frenzy. So how do you know if you've got one of these million-dollar beauties? Flip your penny and look at the front. If it says 1989 and there's no mint mark, that's your starting point. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling, especially around Lincoln's face, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Is the coin shiny? Smooth edges? Minimal scratches? That's a good sign. Coins in mint state, MS, are graded from 60 to 70. You want MS 65 or above for serious value. If you think you have a winner, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Who would have thought a simple penny from 1989 could turn out to be worth nearly $2 million? It's a perfect example of how coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It could be your retirement plan. Glowing star. So don't overlook those pennies in your change jar. Take a closer look, you never know what treasure you might be holding. Loudspeaker. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who loves collecting coins or finding hidden value in everyday things. Speech balloon. And tell us in the comments, do you have any interesting coins in your collection? We'd love to hear your story. / 2003 no mint mark Lincoln penny. We'll talk about its history, design, rare errors, and exactly what makes it so valuable. So grab your coin jar and stick around. This could be the best 10 minutes you've spent all week. Let's rewind back to 2003. The Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for over 90 years, originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's face, and that person, of course, was the beloved 16th President of the United States. The 2003 Lincoln penny continued the classic design by Victor David Brenner on the obverse, Lincoln's iconic profile. The reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in place since 1959. But here's where it gets interesting. Most 2003 pennies were minted either in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, or San Francisco. However, a very small number of 2003 no mint mark pennies have been found to possess unusual traits, leading collectors to hunt for them like hidden treasure. At first glance, the 2003 Lincoln penny looks completely ordinary. It's made of copper-plated zinc, weighs about 2.5 grams, and has a smooth, round edge. But don't let that fool you. Lincoln's profile facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year, 2003. The Lincoln Memorial with the words, "United States of America, et pluribus unum," and 1 cent. Now, here's the twist. While no mint mark typically indicates a Philadelphia mint, some rare 2003 pennies have slight variations or errors that dramatically increase their value. Now to the fun part, the errors. These rare mistakes are what turn everyday coins into valuable collectibles. With the 2003 no mint mark penny, there are a few notable errors that collectors go absolutely wild for. Some 2003 pennies display doubling on the letters or Lincoln's profile, especially around Liberty or In God We Trust. This kind of doubling error can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. A coin that wasn't properly aligned during minting might appear off-center. The more dramatic the error, the more it's worth. A 10% off-center strike might fetch $50, but a 50% off-center coin could go for $500 or more. This is a small die break between the B and E in Liberty, forming what looks like the word BIE. These quirky errors are popular with Lincoln penny collectors. Small raised lines or blobs on the coin can indicate a die break. Depending on the size and location, these errors can boost a penny's value tenfold. Each of these errors is a result of minting imperfections. And believe it or not, collectors pay top dollar for these mistakes. Okay, let's talk numbers. How much is your 2003 no mint mark penny really worth? If it's a regular circulated penny, it's worth, well, 1 cent. But if you've got a coin with one of the rare errors we just mentioned, or if it's in near perfect condition, mint state 68 or higher, the value skyrockets. A 2003 no mint mark penny with a double die could sell for $1,000 to $3,000. A superb gem uncirculated coin, certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC, might be worth $5,000 or more. And get this, a rare 2003 penny with a unique combination of errors and high grade recently sold at auction for over $1.7 million. That's right, a penny that changed someone's life. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these elusive coins, especially as the market for rare U.S. currency continues to boom in popularity. You might wonder, why would anyone pay millions for a penny? Well, it's a mix of rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector demand. The fewer there are, and the better condition they're in, the more a collector is willing to pay. Coins like these become centerpieces of collections, or even investment assets for serious numismatists. Finding a penny like this is like finding a needle in a haystack, and for some lucky people, that needle is made of gold, figuratively speaking, of course. So now the big question, have you checked your 2003 pennies lately? Dig through your change jars, wallets, and old coin rolls. Who knows? You might have a hidden treasure just waiting to be discovered. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment telling us what rare coins you've found, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories about coins worth millions. 2005 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that has stunned collectors with its unbelievable value and mysterious features. We'll explore its history, unique errors, the reasons it's worth so much money, and how you can find one too. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe even your old coin jar, and let's uncover the million-dollar mystery behind this modern-day treasure. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, when it was introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and Lincoln's legacy has lived on in our pockets ever since. Fast forward to 2005, a year most people remember for big events like the rise of YouTube or the launch of the Xbox 360. But coin collectors remember it for something else. A rare Lincoln penny struck in Philadelphia that carried no mint mark, and had something very unusual about it. The 2005 Lincoln penny features the familiar right-facing profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, along with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2005. The reverse side showcases the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959. Now here's what makes this penny particularly interesting. It has no mint mark beneath the year. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally doesn't place a mint mark on pennies. But this isn't just any ordinary Philadelphia penny. Certain 2005 no mint mark pennies have very specific errors and qualities that make them incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. So what makes some of these 2005 pennies worth over $1 million? It comes down to rare minting errors. Tiny mistakes that turn ordinary coins into collector gold. Here are a few of the key error types to watch for. These happen when the front and back dies strike each other without a coin in between, leaving ghostly images of the reverse on the obverse and vice versa. This is when a coin is struck more than once slightly off position, making the date, letters, or Lincoln's face appear doubled. If your 2005 penny shows this clearly, it could be worth a fortune. If the image on your penny is clearly not centered, especially if it's dramatically off and still shows a full date, that's a sign of a valuable error. Magnifying glass tilted left, missing elements, or weak strikes. Some rare 2005 no mint mark pennies appear weakly struck, with barely visible letters or features. These are often due to worn dies and can be valuable if in uncirculated condition. Even small, subtle errors can dramatically increase the value of your coin, especially when certified by experts. Now here's the exciting part. How much is one of these error coins actually worth? A 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a major double die or off-center strike, especially if graded as MS67 or higher by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can command values ranging from $50,000 to over $1.7 million at private auctions or collector markets. The most valuable versions were pulled from circulation almost brand new and preserved in near-perfect condition, no scratches, no fingerprints, and full original luster. That's what investors and serious collectors are hunting for, a perfect storm of error, rarity, and condition. And let's not forget, coins like these don't come around often. Their value is skyrocketing because of increasing demand and shrinking supply. You might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these valuable pennies? White heavy check marks. Start by checking every 2005 Lincoln penny you own. Look for missing mint marks, doubling, or odd-looking strikes. White heavy check mark. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass to inspect the details. White heavy check mark if you think you've got something special. Send it to a trusted coin grading company like PCGS or NGC for authentication. White heavy check mark. You can also visit local coin shops, attend coin shows, or join online collector forums to compare notes with fellow collectors. Who knows? That coin you almost gave as change at the gas station might just fund your retirement. If you found this video helpful or exciting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Especially if you found a unique 2005 penny or want help identifying one. We have so many more valuable coin stories coming your way, and you won't want to miss out on a chance to turn your pocket change into $1 million discovery. 2016 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Stick around because this penny has a story, some fascinating features, and a value that will blow your mind. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all things rare and valuable coins. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. currency for over a century, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. Since then, it's undergone several changes, from design shifts to variations in its mint marks. Fast forward to 2016, and the penny still features the familiar image of Lincoln on the obverse, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes the 2016 penny unique is not just its design, it's a very special error variation that has been causing quite a stir in the numismatic world. Most modern U.S. coins, including the Lincoln penny, carry a mint mark to indicate where they were produced. Typically, pennies are minted in Philadelphia, denoted by P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But here's where it gets interesting. The 2016 Lincoln penny has a rare, highly sought-after version that is missing the mint mark entirely. This was a mistake made during the minting process, and while it seems small, it's actually a huge deal for collectors. The error is so rare that it's become one of the most talked about coins from that year. Let's talk about the features of the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. It has the inscription "In God We Trust," along with the year 2016 and liberty, symbols of freedom and the United States. The reverse of the coin showcases the Lincoln Memorial, which has graced the back of the penny since 1959. You'll also see the words E Pluribus Unum and United States of America. But here's the key point. On most 2016 pennies, you'll find a mint mark just beneath the year. However, some 2016 pennies were accidentally struck without this mint mark, creating a rare error. And that's what sets this penny apart. Now let's get to the juicy part, the value. A regular 2016 penny is worth 1 cent, as you'd expect. But the 2016 no mint mark penny? That's a whole different story. Depending on its condition, these era pennies have been known to sell for anywhere from a few $1,000s to a whopping $1.8 million at auction. Why such a high value? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. Coins that are minted with errors are often more valuable because they are seen as unique. They didn't follow the normal minting process, which makes them extremely rare. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins like this because they offer a piece of history that can't be replicated. So, how can you spot a 2016 no mint mark penny? It's actually quite simple. Just check the area right below the year 2016 on the obverse side. If you see no P, D, or S mint mark, congratulations! You might have a very valuable coin in your hands. Make sure to inspect the condition as well. The higher the grade, the more it could be worth. If your penny looks nearly perfect, it could be worth significantly more than one that's worn out. Once you've identified a 2016 no mint mark penny in your collection, the next question is, where can you sell it? There are several options. You can visit local coin shops, but for the highest value, an auction house like Heritage Auctions or even eBay could help you reach a wider audience. If you're unsure about the authenticity or value of your penny, it's always a good idea to get it appraised by a professional numismatist. They can verify whether your coin is genuine and provide you with a more accurate value. So, there you have it, a small penny with a big potential payout. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rare find and could be worth a fortune. If you happen to have one of these coins, it might be time to get it appraised and consider selling it to cash in on its value. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below. What rare coin do you own, or what would you love to find in your pocket change? We'd love to hear from you.